Black to Campbell. Campbell on the outside and try time to the skipper. Tyler Campbell. Cut pass out to Stoward. Right foot, left foot, try. Reed Stoward in full flight. Inside to Campbell. Tyler Campbell.
Media Vintage Sports Network presents Play-by-Play podcast with Jordan Hughes.
Alrighty, welcome in Play-by-Play Rugby with you once again for another big week of rugby. The Lions are 60 days away, I believe, boys. They're coming in hot. We've got plenty on the show tonight. We've got a picks and preview, a recap, finals footage on the way in Super Rugby Pacific, some big news as well. QPR, the boys had a win on the weekend and plenty more. Jordan Hughes with you alongside Tyler Campbell and Jordan Lanack. Hello, lads.
Hello, Jordy. How are you? You don't want to ask us how we ask us, we'll ask you, how are you?
Good. I'm well, thank you.
Don't really care.
Okay, cool.
How are you, George?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Fuck, he's on one today, is he, George?
Yeah,
He's
I'm on fire,
Should
mate.
have seen him tonight. He was awesome.
Always so happy, mate. Extra chirp in your step. W.
W,
Yeah,
my first win of
that's
the
why.
year. Haven't
Yeah.
won a game all year. I
A
finally
win-
got
A
one.
win week.
Yes.
So, finally played a game and won.
Yeah, and one.
Geordie's coming off his 6-week hamstring cramp. He's going to be returning this week.
Yeah, breaking news.
So,
Yeah.
You back?
he's
back.
Last week we asked you, and you said, ages away. You're milking it.
It's actually a six-week ACL.
I actually don't know how the timeline changed so drastically.
Was it like 12 months originally for an ACL?
Yeah.
And then 6 weeks for a cramp?
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you back out there, though.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Many layers to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you feeling good? Ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm so excited to play footy.
Bit underdone, Jeep. So if you want to run out of channel, run at the reserve 9 when he comes on.
There you go.
If I'm coming on, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm playing yet.
Actually, against one of your former clubs too.
Yeah. Go
Isn't
on.
that every week, mate?
Yeah.
That's become a bit of a rolling joke now. I love it. All right, boys. What was your eye-catching moment of the week? What caught your eye?
Oh, I'm going to come out and say it.
I'm
I'm going to say it's the second best rugby performance I've ever seen, and that is Ardie Savea. Can't give him one. I will always ride with 05 Dan Carter in the Lions series.
Mm-hmm.
Game 2, I think it was. 33 points. But,
Yep.
yeah, he was just phenomenal. And I think it was a performance, like, obviously Moana's been doing a lot better than anticipated, and he's played really well. Obviously locked up Super Rugby Player of the Year. But that performance on the weekend was a big, I'm going to swear here, fuck you to all the people that doubted him at the start of the year. I think John Kerwin was one. There's a couple of people saying, he's going there. This is going to stagnate his career. This is going to be his twilight years because, he's not going to be competitive. And he just went out there on the weekend, and I've just never seen anything like this in years where a player's been in such flow. Yeah. Like he does that little chip kick that goes head height over the other side of the line, regathers, bumps off two people, passes wide, and they score. Like he just could do no wrong. And it was so good to see, and it's good to see personally, as an All Blacks fan, him in that good a form coming into some big French internationals.
And how poetic was it of him getting that final steal as well?
Oh, and just the energy he's playing in that jersey at the moment. You saw after that steal, whistle goes, he turns to the crowd, got the chee-hoos coming, he's pumping his chest. Like, it's just so good to see, and I can see why people are petitioning for him to be the All Black captain now. It's, just a passionate man, and honestly, I'm stoked for him that he's been able to turn that whole franchise around.
12,000 in the house too at Auckland. It was absolutely humming. So it's good to see them going well. That was mine as well. I was just very impressed by Savea. Best Super Rugby performance ever in a game?
Yes, I'll say it's the best Super Rugby performance I've witnessed personally.
Yep.
There could be another one out there that maybe was there when I was younger, but in the last 10 years, I can't think of a game that was as good as that one.
Very impressive. Do you have something different, mate?
I was going to say the same, but for argument's sake, I'll go something different. Looking on our side of the Tasman, I think Tim Ryan, he was a bit of a standout to me.
Okay.
He's just, I don't think he's there yet in terms of that Wallaby selection, but he's definitely making a case for at least a look in, if not one of those players that we can develop over the next couple years.
Send him to the factory.
Yeah, let's
Send
get
him to the South African factory and
put some size on him.
If
Yeah.
he puts on, 5 or 6 kilos of lean muscle, I think he'll be a weapon.
Keep his speed. Because he's tough, man. He's
Yeah,
tough as well.
tough.
So.
He scores tries. He just does what needs to get done. Doesn't necessarily do it in the flashiest way, but I think that's what everyone's kind of grabbing onto in Australian rugby. Like just gets to his business and stays relatively quiet about it and just gets around it.
Very unorthodox, having played against him, but very elusive. He's actually really hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Because of just the way he sort of twists and turns and keeps speed. Like it's not like a Etienne Nanai Satoru step or, the big steppers we've got. He just sort of changes into
Just
a
glides
gap.
his way through a bit. Yeah.
Kind of similar to what we used to see from like a prime Christian Cullen. Probably not at that level, but he just sort of moves into space
Yeah,
and doesn't
tall,
lose
skinny,
speed.
sort of, 100%. I like it, George. Let's go to our round 14 recap. On the tipping front, it was me and TC out in front. 5 from 10. Jalen Nack, 4 from 10. Better performance from the lads. Obviously, I took the winning one of picking Moana to win. You boys laughed at me for that one, and they did a job. So the totals now is 85 from 138,
Pause.
79.
That wasn't a laugh.
You said
No, it was.
No,
I clipped it. It was a good
I
moment.
know.
you clipped it, but
No.
I got to throw it out here.
Yeah, throw it out. What do you got?
You've been the big Moana hater on this podcast for the whole.
Really?
fucking
That's a
podcast.
crazy take.
That's why I was shocked. I was going, I've really never seen.
When
this
am I
man
ever
get around
Moana hater? What haven't you?
Oh, I think the Landers will get it done this week. You always sort of.
Really?
You've only recently jumped on the bandwagon.
I don't
and
know, man.
Now you're like apparently their biggest fan.
Well, I didn't say biggest fan. I said
He
they'd
won't
beat
clip
the
this
Blues.
and put it out there either.
I said they'd beat the Blues, Jordy, and I did. Don't be mad, all right?
That was the shock.
Yeah, it
was
wasn't-
shock
it wasn't-
value.
yeah, it wasn't
It
a
wasn't
sh-
mocking your pick.
It wasn't a shock on the decision. It was a
shock that it came from you.
Yeah,
Well, I just know ball.
yeah. Say code.
Yeah, fucking get after me. Anyway, 85, 138. I am leading. 79 is you, TC. 48 88 for you, mate. So you're right down the middle.
Yeah.
Jalen Nack.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. The Hurricanes 24, the Highlanders 20. 80-minute try win bomb. You know who? Cam Roygard getting it done. Landers scared them, didn't they?
Yeah, Landers first half, outstanding. And I got to give credit to the Hurricanes, though. A team that's obviously lost some big players in Tyrell Lomax and who else wasn't playing? I think Braden Yorsi was out. There's quite a few injured.
Yeah.
Also lost both their wingers in the first half, had a halfback playing out there. Good to see Brett Cameron come back 7 months from an ACL, which is quite impressive. They just, they stuck with it and they got going sort of in that second half. And Cam Roygard's second half performance, outstanding. Would have been moment of the week if it wasn't for Ardie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say try of the year contender for the Highlanders. The crossfield kick, the
Yeah,
bump
that was
off.
another
Yeah.
good one.
That was
That and
nice.
the Tars, obviously,
There's been a couple good ones this year that have just come out of sort of nothing.
100%. Any comments on this one?
No, I think my pick obviously reflects what I thought was going to happen, but yeah, I think it was like, if anything, it's just a big props to the Landers to be able to sort of grit it out. Like, obviously a close game. As we said, some sort of key performers now that really stood up and made that game a difference. But yeah, I think it was just a really good quality game of footy that was sort of showcasing where those teams are at.
Hurricanes had to work for that too, because they needed that win to keep them within touch. for
Kind of
finals.
actually sort of, now they got the Reds this week, it puts them in a very good place that win this week they're in.
Yeah, very exciting. On that Waratahs game, the Crusaders came out firing. 48-33 was the final score. Savea Reese, equal try scoring. 65, I believe, in Super Rugby.
Brumbies this week, see if hopefully he can break
Yeah.
it. Obviously, Sevu, someone that sort of had a slow start to his career, played a few years of NPC and didn't quite crack Super Rugby because of international laws. He hadn't been in New Zealand long enough because it starts from when you leave school.
Right,
The IRB thing. If you're at school, you're technically not living there.
gotcha.
So once he sort of became qualified, Crusaders gave him a chance after a bit of drama had gone down after our 2018 season, and to see him where he is now, being the top try scorer of all time, like having played with him, he's probably one of the best finishers, actually the best finisher I've played with, because he just knows how to find the try line. His support play is outstanding. He's fit. And one thing I think people are underappreciating, some of the assists he's got recently off his boot.
True, yeah.
That one on the weekend, people don't. He's naturally right-footed.
You wouldn't
Put
even
that
know
on
it.
the left, and he's done it a few times this year as a left winger and kicking in perfectly for someone in support. Like that's very impressive.
Money. Geordie Lanack, the Waratahs, 31-7 at half time.
Yeah.
They come out and said it's the worst defeat of all time. What happened?
Are we not surprised at this point? I'm not.
Yeah, I guess it's this false hope that hurts the most.
Yeah, they just, I don't know. We've been saying it for weeks. I don't know what's going on, but it just seems to be not getting better. Like, even the small things that 5-6 weeks ago we were saying that they were doing relatively well, like they had not a bad engine room and they could sort of get things going a little bit. Even now, that's just going to shit. Like, they're going backwards. They're getting out, like, physically dominated by everyone they play so far.
Yeah, that first 15 minutes was atrocious.
It's brutal.
They just got destroyed. So obviously you saw the headlines after Jake Gordon came out and said his worst defeat in his career. McKellar's saying these guys is wearing the tracksuit, changes will be made. You're a man that's
Well,
been...
they're done.
I'm talking about moving forward.
Moving
Someone that's
forward.
been in a high performance environment, you know what this is like. How do you sort of, like, what is this moment like now for the Tars?
Look, I think they've got to look at positives. Like they were wooden spooners last year. They went from wooden spooners to a team that's obviously been in contention most of the year. So it sort of sucks to see them sort of miss out in these last two rounds. I think they take positives how they performed at home this year. Obviously, I think their Tars tough will like really shine through there. For them, it's moving forward, it's okay, how do we win in away games? Do we need more experience? I think they're lacking a little bit in their second row stock, and it looks like they've bolstered that with Angus Blythe. I don't know if that's officially announced yet, but there's rumours around that.
Pete Samu.
Pete Samu's another one that we talked about coming back. I think they're doing the right steps to move forward. It's just, I think they just got to keep changing that culture, and culture doesn't change overnight.
So this year, has it been an attitude thing? Do you reckon this guy's just coasting, or like why has this been so?
That's the thing. Do we ever expect them to be that good? I thought they'd be a team fighting for the 6, but they were never a contender for me. And I think they'll come right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to say that those guys coasting, because if you're in that environment, like even if you're seen to be not giving it your all, like I can guarantee every single one of those squad members is doing what
all in.
Yeah, doing the absolutely most they can. Like whether it's problem with coaching or setup, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I don't think it's an attitude problem for those guys. And as Tyler just said, like it's very easy for us to dismiss pretty much everything they've been doing, but they do have some good positives. Like they're a pretty tough team to beat at home. Like even if you're looking outside that immediate Super Rugby program, like their schoolboy pathways going through is really strong. They've always been really strong. Their age group pathways are really good. They've got a massive pool of local kids to pick from. So if they just develop sort of the best of that crop that they've got coming through the next couple of years, bolstering it with some of the big signings that they've got, like I don't think they're going to be in a bad spot, and I don't think it's like an alarm button moment sort of them. Like every team at some stage is going to go through that sort of dip and redevelopment, and I just kind of think that's where the Tars are at the moment.
Well, they beat the Chiefs a month ago.
Yeah.
At home. And this is Dan McKellar's first year of 3, obviously, and then you see there's a lot where these coach come in and they sort of inherit a squad. There's a lot of guys I'm sure he would have selected in his squad, and he just has to because they're already re-signed. So interesting what he does with his roster in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I think people underappreciate how good of a coach he was at the Brumbies.
Yeah.
I think we forget that. I think we also forget how we set up the development program that's at the Brumbies now. Obviously, there was a few of them that are part of that, like Larkham's another one. What's the Ford guru?
Fisher?
Yep, Fisher. Like, they've all been a part of building coach. So he's not going to turn that overnight, as I said, and I think we'll see a lot more local talent actually come through. I do feel like they don't bring local talent through very well.
Okay. There you go. Just the last one. We were talking in the chat. Darby Lancaster's try, and the commentary straight away. You two blowing up. Oh, try. Move on. Keep moving. You was talking to you about this?
Probably, yeah.
Lancaster. Like this on that. Darby Lancaster's finished. Try. We're
Try.
happy? Yeah.
100% try.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was a try, but to say you don't need to look at it, it's like stop showing your bias every week. I get you the ex-Tars players, but your job at the moment is to be a commentator.
It was fun.
And it frustrates people watching to the point I know people will turn off the TV when they're doing that shit.
Yeah.
They're great when they're commentating everyone else, like they're a lot better. But it comes to the Tars, it's just like you're making it too obvious for us watching.
That one, even I noticed.
I've got to the point where I watch those games on mute now because I just can't deal with it.
That's a commentator's like nightmare. I hate that. It's sad.
Yeah.
You turn
Well,
that
just
around.
don't be that person.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not.
Thanks. All right, let's go now to the Drua 38-7. It was a forced great start in the first 7 minutes. They scored 7 points to get things going. They had conceded 38 straight after that, boys. We picked
daytime,
this. We said this. 13 plus.
I
bang.
thought the Force would actually cover the line. I thought they were going to put a bit of a fight up, but their season's just folded. They started well. We thought, they've improved because we gave them no hope in the first podcast we had about Super Rugby this year. Yeah. And I guess eventually
But you said that. You said they started well and they'll die off. And that's what's happened.
And my reasoning for that was I thought they had an easier start to the draw.
Yeah.
And I thought they had good players, but they just, I don't know what's going on out there. It just seems they just can't get it right at the moment. Like,
Well, they can't win away from home. Firstly.
Can't win away from home. Travel's obviously a big thing. You can't really blame money. I think they're the richest Super Rugby club we've got.
I do think they can do the draw can be done better for them. I know everyone travels, but they've travelled the furthest. Like, don't give them like buys at this end of the season, or don't give them like Brisbane into Fiji, so it's on the way. Like, don't go to New Zealand, back to Perth, back to Brisbane. Like,
that's also can disrupt a player. Young players, it's easy. But I think you're looking at guys that sort of 28, 29 that have a couple of kids. Being away from home that long is also something you don't really want to do.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I understand it's a job, but for some people, like, being around their kids is their sort of away time from the sport, helps them mentally refresh to go again. So you can look at it both ways.
Yeah.
It's just they've obviously got to probably talk to the Force and find a general consensus of what's going to help them, but at the same time, you can't favour a team.
No.
You just got to make the draw as it
I
goes.
just feel like there's potentially a bit smarter ways to do it. That's all. But one thing, Geordie, Donaldson off the bench. I don't think he got on. Is this like it was a must-win game for their season? He's the best player. Don't play him. Like
Yeah, we spoke about this when we saw the teams announced last week, and it was kind of
is that like
it was a head scratcher for me
Yeah.
because I didn't know what the goal of that was. Like initially when I saw it, I was like, okay, maybe they're resting them. Maybe they're just giving them a rest week. But then, like,
business
kind of
must, it was
why?
must win?
Yeah, like why?
Yeah. And also had that
Yeah, I
young
don't
fella
know.
come in from NPC.
Unless, yeah, I can't figure out a logical reason to justify that other than the fact that there was a true selection issue, and if that was the case, I'd love to know the reasons behind that.
They've rolled through a lot of 10s this year.
Yeah,
Kobe Milne got to go, come over from Shoot Shield.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ray Jean might have played a little bit of 10 in a game.
Max Bury.
Max Bury, Ben Donaldson, the new guy on the weekend. I don't know if there's something we don't know about Ben Donaldson. Maybe he's going somewhere else. Like, that would be where my head is at because I just don't see why you wouldn't play him.
Really? Wow. That's
speculation.
Especially,
a bit of a scoop.
yeah, well, especially someone who, for me, needs a lot of game time because he could be the starting 10 for the Wallabies.
Who needs a 10? The Waratahs? He just came with the Waratahs, didn't he?
Brumbies,
Brumbies?
losing Noah. Thought Meredith was good on the weekend, though.
Yeah.
We're going to get there, so I won't talk about that.
There we go. Scoop that. All right, let's go to Moana and the Blues. Spoke about it briefly. 27-21. Ardie was unreal, but on top of the winger.
Kyron Folau, whatever his name is.
Folau, yeah, 2 tries, and one of them was an absolute
2
stunner.
or 3?
I thought it was 2.
I don't actually, I can't remember. Yeah. He's, there was big raps on him from Julian and Ardie at the start of the year. And he was very much an unknown. I don't think he's played much NPC. Like, I'm not actually sure where he sort of came from. But one thing about him...
He came through Tongan Sevens.
Tongan Sevens. Freak athlete. Like, and we've seen it on multiple times this year. Like, there was that jump, I think it was against the Reds. And there was like that cold photo, where he's up in the air. Like, he's just a freak athlete. And I think as he starts to put on a bit more size and probably plays with these higher level players and learns a bit more, he's only going to get better. And he's going to be a great pickup for, obviously, internationally for Tongan rugby. I just hope...
I wonder if he'll try to change that down the line.
I don't know how it works. I think, Moana's obviously trying to push for that, and I think he's one that obviously is going to be playing in NZ, but it'll be interesting to see how that
It was a
goes.
23 World Cup he played for Tonga, so I think you need a bigger gap than the next World Cup, I'm guessing. Any comments on this game, George? A hell of a performance.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I think everything that needs to be said could be pretty much outlined in Ardie's performance alone. But just quickly on that, like, I think that's exactly the point of having that sort of team in this competition, to unearth some of those Polynesian boys that are playing in either their sevens pathways or they're still sort of floating around that don't really have the traditional entry that a lot of the Australian and New Zealand Super Rugby players will have.
Yeah.
Give them that stage to perform at, and I reckon we'll see more and more players exactly like that, just coming up through the ranks. Like, don't really hear about them, don't know where they're from, what they're doing, and they'll come out and have an absolute blinder, and then all of a sudden they're at the forefront of everyone's conversations.
So 3 years ago, I called him playing for the Oceania Sevens at North's Rugby on the wing for Tongan Sevens.
Yeah.
Skinny kid, obviously you can tell he's an athlete, carving up, and then all of a sudden World Cup, Moana, and now he's going to be playing finals in Super Rugby.
So what you're saying is you discovered him?
No, I'm just saying.
Is that what it...
Don't spin the narrative, George.
I'm going to no comment.
I'm just saying. I was early on the kid. Back him.
Yeah.
All right. Something TC. Lovely. All right, boys. The Brumbies and the Reds, 24-14. My homeism on the Reds let me down big time. You guys both cashed in on the Brumbies. Too good in the washing machine. TC again.
Yeah, they're just good at staying in it and grinding for wins at the moment. Puts them to the top of the table, leading into a massive clash this week against the Crusaders. So, you've got to admire what they're doing.
Wait, not this week. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, is it, Crusaders?
Yeah.
No, sorry. But yeah, you just got to admire what they're doing. They're just doing what they need to do. Their set piece works really good. I think they've got an unreal set piece try. Tom Wright went over. So you just got to, sort of trust in what they're doing at the moment. And I think, to me, they're the only genuine Aussie team that's a threat to winning it this year at the moment. I think the Reds they've been all over the place the second half of the season. I think they've won 2 of their last 7.
Yeah, it's been tough.
It's been a bit of a tough run for them. So, yeah, I think they're the team that I'd be watching moving into the finals.
The big moment was that Paisami yellow card.
Yeah.
That's when it all fell apart.
Yeah.
I guess he's had a few this year, Hunter.
Yeah, he's a really, really good player, and he's dominant, and he's strong, and he's fast. He's got good skills, but sometimes I feel like he is a little bit reckless with what he does. Especially now that the laws are so strict around the safety of the carrier and not the tackler. Like all the onus is on the tackler, so you really just have to get dialed in. And we've seen how quick refs are now pulling cards, especially with that review law now coming up. Like they can just send you off, and then they let the upstairs deal with the severity of it. So I think they're being a lot more proactive in dishing that out, and then letting sort of the guys upstairs sort of work the ins and outs. So yeah, I think that's something that, and probably it's not even just Hunter. I think a lot of the sort of big, strong centres specifically all around the world are going to have to adapt quicker than...
Bundy's been caught a few times. Well, you get your timing wrong.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
You almost put yourself at a disadvantage now if you're a big hitter. And you see it with a lot of players, guys that throw their body into contact, get in trouble every so often. And if it was me as a coach, like I still want Hunter doing that. Because those moments in a game are moments that can turn a game and give you a bit of momentum.
Yeah.
The boys pick up, but it's so tough because we've just made the game where it's hard to do that now.
Yeah.
There's no big collisions that are not looked at. And it
Imagine
sort
if
of
those
sucks.
boys had the Sterling rule. They'd be done.
Fuck.
They'd be
Yeah.
cooked.
We're not starting on that after the weekend.
Okay.
And I think as well, like even on that, like as Tyler just said, like you don't really want to take that out of Hunter's game. And even if he's getting pinged every now and again and getting carded every now and again, I think the energy that he's bringing to teams and the hurt that he's putting on players is kind of, it's still outweighing the bad.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're leaving your boys 10 minutes without you, but
It's a fine line.
yeah, at the same time, if you get that right, or if a ref sees it slightly different, you've just lit a bloke up.
What is that?
That's not me, bro.
That's not me, is
Is
it?
that Siri next to you?
Sorry, guys. We just got a random...
Is that what it is?
That's the TV.
It's the TV, mate.
What's going on here?
Sorry, guys. We'd like to have a little
Technical
intermission.
difficulty.
We're having technical difficulties.
It's not even real music. It's
All
like
the sneaky links that Geordie's been diving into while he's home alone in this property have caught up to him, and now he's got a virus that is playing a song.
what is happening?
Oh, he's unplugged it.
Oh, we're going.
He's being
We're going
hacked.
screen off for the rest.
This is what
Oh,
happens.
shut it down.
This is what happens when you pay
Do
for
you just want to turn that
OnlyFans,
off?
Yeah, this is good podcasting.
guys.
I hope you're enjoying on the YouTube
Don't
today.
click on the link. There is not a
Yeah.
single woman near you.
Mate, what was that about?
I think it's one of my YouTube. You know, I think it was. I think it was the Coco show I was playing earlier. On the ad break.
Definitely OnlyFans.
Nah, not with my stroke, mate. Alrighty then. Welcome back. That was good.
Stroke.
Where were we?
What was that about?
What stroke?
What stroke?
OnlyFans is not really my thing.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
You said not my stroke.
Yeah, different strokes for different folks.
I don't know. I think you should really pick your words a bit better before
Yeah.
you talk about
I'm
OnlyFans.
talking about OnlyFans. You're
You're
talking about
I
stroke.
thought I'd keep it on. keep it straight.
We both were like, what?
Alright, I'm going to cut all of this.
No, you're not.
you absolutely are not.
You know what? I'm gonna sit here and call you out. I actually got 6 of 10 last week.
No, you didn't. You got 5.
Count it.
Well, I don't have time for this now.
Yeah.
Alright, where were we?
I don't even
I got it right in front of you.
Okay.
Ready? Hurricanes 1. They didn't cover. That's 1.
Yes.
Crusaders 1. That's 2. Drua 1. That's 3.
Yes.
Blues lost, but Moana.
Yeah.
That's 4. And then double Brumbies. That's
Congratulations.
6.
You won.
See, I knew. I've been calling you out for cheating this whole year.
I'm not
and
cheating.
we've got it.
I just can't count.
We've got it on paper, boys.
Okay, well done. You feel better now?
I do, because I've been saying this every podcast. And first time you send the pics through, and you've been caught out, mate.
All right, we've derailed. Let's.
We have derailed. This is going tremendously well. All right, I'm done for round 14. Wallaroos had a big win, boys.
Yes.
They absolutely carved up. Catholic first try, and Ashley Masters, she's an absolute weapon as well.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts around
No,
this?
They played when we played, and then I got scared on the
okay.
Bears. I've
True.
seen nothing.
my highlight from seeing that was the 12 from the US. Absolutely.
Oh, the
lose
stomp.
the stomping.
I saw
Yeah.
the stomps.
Give me the stomping. Okay.
Yeah.
Play on.
No way, dude.
People like Jordan Lanak deserve that on the field sometimes.
Dude, what thoughts, like, seriously though, what did
I
absolute...
don't know what she was doing.
Yeah, I don't know what her intent was there.
Straight red.
And
Yeah.
I thought-
As it should be.
like, I kind of watched it back because I thought maybe like there was a bit of ankle grappling going on.
Yeah, and
from
she
the
was trying
player
to
on the
kick out
ground,
of
and she was trying to stomp her to stop the thing. But
Nah.
it was just a hold on. There was no manipulation of the ankle or anything going on below. She just didn't like being tackled and thought, stuff this, my second sport's UFC. I'm going to start stomping this
Yeah,
bitch.
it wasn't even like she was trying to attempt to almost break that tackle and keep running. Like, she was just straight stomping.
Crazy. So it came out today how many weeks she got. Have a guess.
Don't say 3.
Have a guess.
I'm gonna say 12.
Okay.
3.
She got 3.
No way.
But this okay. I'm gonna have
How is that?
And it's only
on.
one test match.
Tyler Rant.
Go on.
Why?
Tyler Rant. This is why I don't like our fucking tackle laws in our game. Okay? I accidentally make a mistake in my collisions. We just talked about Hunter Pasami and make shoulder to head and get red carded. I get 3 weeks. On the flip side, we have someone who is showing malice, stomping on someone's chest
And head.
and gets 3 weeks. They are 2 different scenarios. One is with purpose, one is accidental. Okay, I don't mind if you're going to red card a person in a game, but then they get a week. If the standard's going to be 3 weeks. Like, I just think it's fucking bullshit that we are punishing accidents the same as we are malicious, like acts with malicious intent.
I agree. It's ridiculous.
Because it's been driving me nuts, but that really pisses me off hearing it again.
So she only misses 1 test match. The other 2 are club games, like their women's USA club comp. And she doesn't miss any World Cup games, obviously. That's just in time. What an absolute load of crap.
I'm not having a go at the poor chick here.
That's really pissed me off.
It's just the world rugby laws. She probably deserves 3 weeks. I don't mind that they don't overextend it to 12, but it's now going, okay, the tackle laws need to be fucking sorted because they are not on the same platform.
It'd be interesting to see if they treat rugby laws and rugby punishments the same way they treat legal laws and is that now a precedent being set that if the exact same thing happens in a men's game, does he get 3 weeks? Absolutely not.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're talking about stomping here. This is like, we haven't seen this in the game in 20 years.
No.
Unbelievable. Anyway, good to see the Wallaroos get a W. They are flying. They will be in action this week, actually, in Canada at Suncorp before the Reds game.
Good to see them not just playing New Zealand 5 times.
Yeah.
I think it's great for them to play other teams and sort of get a bit more confidence going into the World Cup.
Yep. There we go. All right, it's big transfer news, boys, to get into. So we've seen a lot this weekend. I want you to sort of comment on what you're thinking. Firstly, Angus Blythe to the Waratahs. You mentioned earlier.
I'm not 100% sure if it's confirmed. I was actually with George Blake, Tonga.
Yep.
We were getting a cut when you sent it through, and I was like, is Blythe going to the Tars? And he goes, what? He had no idea.
Okay.
So
It hasn't been announced. You're right.
yeah, like it could be speculation, which
Yeah.
we've seen before, but I'd understand it. I think the Reds would be a bit hesitant to let him go with Ryan Smith, I think, is heading overseas. I don't know if that's been announced.
Yeah,
Shit, but it has been?
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
Ryan
going to,
Smith heading overseas?
He's going to the Saints.
Yeah. Because one injury, then they're looking at a young lock, and I don't know who's next in their locking stocks. But on the flip side, I think it's good for Oz Rugby because the Tars second row is probably aren't the strongest in the comp, and I think getting someone like Angus Blythe in there, him getting a lot of game time, him probably getting a change of scenery, I think will be good for
I
his
think
game.
it'd be good for him too. Yeah.
So hopefully, if it does go, it ends up being a positive for his career because we know he's got the potential with the size he has.
Yeah. And there's other ones, Geordie. Tom Wright re-signed, Filippo Daugunu, and Carlo Tazano is expected to be announced tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
So there's 3 massive ins for Australian rugby.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think I don't know if we've got it on the notes, but I saw something following the 20s campaign over in South Africa. I think Australian rugby's re-signed like 23 of the 26.
Right, yeah, it's pretty cool.
So it's really good to see them looking at both ends of that spectrum. Like they want to lock in young guys and develop them through, but also at the same time really tighten up that top end and keep our best, because we've seen recently probably more than I care to remember. Some of our best just getting out of Australian rugby and going overseas for a bit of a paycheck or just a new experience, not necessarily chasing money. So, I think we need to be actively retaining guys that have been performing well and rewarding them for doing so.
Wallace Atiti as well for New Zealand today.
Great. I think he could be a potential All Black captain in the future.
Yeah.
And I think he's our number 8 for the next 10 years. I've never seen a big man with that good feet and explosive like speed. He's a freak.
Yep, love it. Other news today, Les Kiss is going to coach the Trans-Tasman team against the Lions, and Totai Kefu is going to coach the Pacifica team. First one, Les Kiss, I guess it sort of makes sense.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really good...
alongside, Ian Foster, I think, is doing it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a really good segue into that Wallabies role as we've kind of trying to figure out how that was going to work. I think it's just going to be a really good sort of taste to see what he wants to do at that level. I'm assuming he's going to try and roll out something, obviously a more flashy version of what he wants to do with the Wallabies, but Yeah,
It's a bit of an exhibition game. Interesting to see
yeah,
what he does.
treat it sort of like a Barbarians game. Like try some stuff, give some people some fun roles. And put on a bit of a show. But yeah, I think that's really good news. That's what
I
I
want
care
to
for.
announce a squad.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to be in that team.
I don't know if it's going to be a 50-50 balance.
Mm.
I don't know if we're looking at players that miss out maybe in New Zealand that are in the Super Rugby, like say like Hoskins Satudu.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're looking at guys like Richie Mwanga,
Aaron Smith,
Aaron Smith.
Michael
Tyler
Hooper.
Campbell.
I would love,
Tyler Campbell.
mate, I've got a bit of both in me.
Yeah.
You know, this last time, this corresponding game, they did a New Zealand Australia Barbarians team, and TJ Siakasini, he was the 12 for it against the Lions in 2013.
That's unreal.
Could have been you, mate. They got dusted 60-0, but
Fozzie,
What a
you're a
cool-
Waikato man. If you tell me now I've got 2 months to get fit, I'll give you 10 minutes.
you'd be great. You'd be great, mate.
At that pace, I'll give you 10 minutes.
There
'Cause,
you
you know, you guys want to just grill me for being fat, so I'll be a realist.
No, we didn't agree. I didn't agree.
Bro said I had a fucking orbit,
Sorry. he did.
dude.
He did. I did
and
not.
you laughed.
I support you all the time, mate. Don't start.
Just
me,
quietly, you know I love you, but also that was a fucking funny call.
Yeah, as good as your hamstring cramp, mate. I hope you get knocked out this weekend. I will laugh.
Don't say that. Because the last time we said we were joking about me getting injured, I actually did get injured.
I was talking about me running a short ball back at you.
Fuck, I might play for Jeeps this weekend.
Oh, please.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Please.
Okay. What else do I have here? Oh, cross-code, but Mark Imark's
Oh,
try.
bro.
Mate, oh my God.
Hear me out.
Dude, that was
Best ever you've ever
insane.
seen?
No.
Okay.
It's not try of the decade.
Okay.
It is a freak bit of talent, though. Like, we've seen some unreal tries in the last 10 years in the NRL.
Yeah.
But we probably haven't seen something like that, so we jump to conclusions. But, like, yeah, freak. To hop the skill it takes, obviously, for the balance, like, personally could not
Yeah.
do that. And to regather and get the bounce of the ball was outstanding. But I wouldn't call it try of the decade. You?
I think if you were looking at it from a spectator's point of view, it wouldn't be try of the decade. But for some,
You normally go long range, hey?
for people, or even just like those crazy high ball catches, like was it Dane Gagai or something like that a couple of years ago, took a fucking specky hanger over someone, landed on his
Yeah.
head, and still got it.
Coates does it every
Like,
week.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. But for someone, or for people who have been in and around rugby and you kind of know the ins and outs of how the movements of that work, to watch it, it was out of control. Like,
Freak.
no idea how he stayed upright, let alone made foot to ball and got back to ball to score it.
Yeah, it's even like Xavier Coates last year when they were calling that finish of the decade. Remember when he jumped
Against the Warriors.
Yeah.
from the 5? Yeah, that's how I probably remember it. But I even think of tries like remember when Isaac Luke that year went up, caught it above his head, was flipping backwards and threw it between his legs. Like,
it was Nathan Friend.
Nathan Friend, yeah, whoever it was. Remember
Yeah.
those? Like those, like that to me is like those sort
Yeah,
of
like,
tries.
yeah.
Or your Jared Hayne 2009. Do you remember
Yeah.
that? The
Yeah.
bang,
Like-
bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that.
those obviously, to me, they're like more entertaining tries
Yeah,
than tries
'cause
of the
it's-
decade.
yeah,
But
It's so
it's all about
quick, this
entertainment.
one.
this was probably one of the most skillful athletic things we've seen, and I can understand the hype around it because it was quite scary and quite freakish to be able to do something like that.
Yeah. I was wanting to mention that with the boys. Change of pace. We saw some pretty, I guess, sad news. The Irish Sevens men's team's been scrapped altogether. The women's still alive. Well, we spoke about it a few times in the pod how the Sevens is progressing, but sad, I think, for those. I thought Irish Sevens
That was
one of the better ones,
second
too.
in the world. or
Shout out
something, I
to
think, or-
Ronan Cuppy.
Mm.
Obviously went to that program, probably run them broke with this alcohol bill, but no, you got to feel sad for them, and obviously they invest a lot more in their 15s, and it's a bigger market,
Yeah.
so you can understand that. But yeah,
It'd be interesting to see what they do with those Sevens players. Like, do they then
Yeah.
sort of liquidate them back into the 4 provinces in Ireland?
But what if you're only a Sevens player?
Well, that's the
Then
thing,
how do you complain nowhere else?
Yeah.
You're out of a job, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite literally. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Like, especially being over there. Like, it was a really big shock when Scotland, England, and Wales all merged to GB. Like, that was a massive thing. So Ireland was still kind of their own standalone, and they were really proud of it. So yeah, for them to flip maybe 3 years later and actually just sack that whole program is a bit of
They came fourth at the Olympics too. for
Yeah,
sure.
like, they're not an
good.
underperforming
Like Terry Kennedy,
team.
one of the best players in the world.
yeah.
how long does Sevens last at the Olympics?
Do you reckon it might get scrapped?
I reckon 2 games,
Like,
two more.
we've just
games.
lost another team that's competitive.
Well, so they'll still have a.
Yeah,
like-
they'll still compete as a team.
But that's what I mean, though. They're
Yeah.
not going to be as competitive
No.
if they're not
No,
on the
because
circuit.
they'll have to go and
qualifying, play some I don't even know, to be honest.
Someone in World Rugby needs to work out how we can get Sevens to grow. I don't know the answer. I think the party vibe of it's gone.
Yeah, there's too much red tape.
Like I know when it's been here, like Perth looked alright. I haven't done Perth, so I can't comment on it. But Dubai and Hong Kong were unreal. Like, and I heard Dubai wasn't as good as previous years when I was there.
Right.
Hong Kong was out the fucking gate, but I've heard that's died off a bit the last few years as well. But they just got a new stadium, so they might.
Like this year was good, but it's
Yeah.
just too expensive. It's like a road show. I think all the staff, they fly, all the commentators over there, like all the camera crew, all these teams, everything. It's
We sucked the commentary to start with.
Just make it a
Leave
party.
everyone then behind.
yeah.
Honestly, make it a party. And you know what? I love the sightseeing, but play it in freaking countries that people actually watch rugby. Like how many people in Singapore watch rugby? Like it just.
Yep.
Are they in Singapore still?
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to like US? I understand the market expansion of US, but like there just needs to be an overhaul of how they're going to do it and trying to make money again because it's sad to see teams leaving.
I reckon maybe they've already done it, but it cut down the number of the big tournaments.
Which I've done, I think it changes.
Yeah, they've
again.
done it. Yeah, but because obviously if they've got Hong Kong, they've got Singapore, like they're basically next door to each other. They do LA and Canada. That's not far away.
True.
You know what I mean? Like they could theoretically merge these into big ones, or even do like double headers, like have.
Well, there's your 6. Canada, LA. What was the first 2 you said? Hong Kong, Singapore.
Hong Kong, Singapore,
Do Australia, New Zealand.
Australia, New Zealand.
Maybe alternate
Maybe take
them.
one. Or still, we still need to take one to like Twickenham or something.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe alternate them.
Yeah, yeah.
If you go like Aussie
Yeah.
1 year, New Zealand the next,
Yeah.
and then the other one's like
Yeah,
Vancouver, LA.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? They can just do them 1 year apiece, and then both still get in their profit every 24 months. Could be a bit of a, I don't know. We're just speculating.
Yeah, they've got some work to do, that's for sure. But interesting, obviously, the women's programs stayed. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Because we don't really have a strong women's program.
Yeah, because I think the
15s.
women's
There's nowhere to
sevens
go.
program worldwide is still on the up.
Yeah, true.
I think
reckon so.
women's sevens is a bit more marketable.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm trying to think how I'm going to word this. It's exciting to watch at the moment.
Yeah.
They've kind of got a groove around sevens because it's a little bit simpler than 15s. And there's freak athletes like you see your Maddie Levi's, your Charlotte Caslicks, your
What's
Georgia
the-
Millers
yeah, that one.
that have really adapted and, you know, play really good footy. And it's like the 15s game's still learning there a little bit as professionalism comes in and they get more time and girls start playing a bit younger. So I think as that catches up, maybe we do see the sevens die off a bit in the women's. But for now, I think it's the pinnacle of women's rugby in terms of the branding and the how much is being promoted.
Yep, you're right. Plenty of news we're getting through, but the final one I noticed, which probably interests you, New Zealand schoolboys back on Sky Sports this year. First time in a while. Are you across this much? Are you a fan of it?
No, I'm just not a fan of it being on TV.
Okay, there we go. I thought you would
And
be.
someone pointed this out to me. No, don't get me wrong. Land Rover first 15, it's good to watch. It's entertaining. You get around your school. But what it was doing in New Zealand originally, and this came from a lot of senior players when I was sort of floating around, schoolboys were coming in with reputations. Because, you know, they're the big guy on TV at school. And they were coming in and losing that sort of value for work ethic and to come in and earn their spot. They kind of thought they should be given things because they were the superstar.
Right.
They're treated like kings at their school. They're on TV. The highlights are getting posted. And, you know, they come in and while they're freak athletes, you know, they don't work as hard. And there was a few boys that I knew that came through Hand Boys that come into our system. Like Quintu Pai, for example, wasn't like the key signing for Waikato back then. But his work ethic was out the gate.
Yeah.
There was another boy that was there that was highly touted, but he came in and didn't work as hard and expected things to be handed out to him. So it just sort of sometimes gets a bit of reputation. So I don't know if it should be a consistent thing,
Right.
but maybe the big games are good to be on TV.
I'm not sure how many they're doing, but I reckon they're doing a lot of them.
Yeah, I think it sounds like they're doing one every week from
Yeah.
what I read. So it'll be interesting to see how New Zealand plays that out.
Yeah. Obviously, it's almost like cool to watch because you see the huckers and the crowd. Like, it's sick, especially over
Oh,
there.
it's cool to see. Like the whole atmosphere is unreal. But yeah, it just sort of gives kids, I don't want to say false hope. I don't know how to word it.
Like
but
a big, like an ego boost.
yeah, an ego and
Well, you guys have done it. Do you reckon we should do that? GPS schools be on
they've
stand or like...
They've kind of started to do it.
It's not like they don't want to deal with a stand though. Like they do their own
Yeah.
product.
Yeah.
But like back in your day, would you? I don't know.
yes, but for me that's not the problem with Oz Rugby. Not having a national championship's a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's great
There's
that we
bigger
play
fish
the
to fry.
GPS, but I think there's more. One, expanding outside the GPS rugby community. It's good quality rugby having 8 dominant teams in Queensland. I think 8 in New South Wales.
Less.
Less 6 maybe. like it's great that you get all the good players flooding these schools and it makes high quality performance, but it also kills the growth of the game.
Yeah.
And I also think not having a national comp, like I think having an actual national champion and having something that could be televised.
Yeah, you're right. National Schoolboy Cup, like it is
yeah.
on the Rugby League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like something like that would, get people watching and sort of get a bit of viewership. You get behind your school because being a national champ's better than unfortunately.
That's a better
being
idea.
GPS school.
Win your GPS comp, then you go broadcast it on just national comp.
Just go even like top 2 from GPS Queensland, New South Wales, top 2 from AIC Queensland, top 2 from AIC New South Wales. Do like get another, maybe like get some public schools.
Like
or
combined states sort of buy.
Yeah. Play, have like a week-long tournament or something like that, similar to what we would do as a traditional sort of schoolboy stuff.
Well, the nationals, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you're playing across codes, so you don't randomly somehow get drawn to someone in the same. You don't get 2 GPS teams playing together from Queensland. Like, set it up properly.
So that could be a good product for TV for sure.
Yeah, like it'll be ruthless because you're obviously not going to get to play everyone, but like
Round robin sort of vibe.
yeah, I think it'd be really good.
Well, you could do it over weeks. Like it depends on timing and. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I would do it so your GPS school, you take the top of the AIC, you take the top of the combined states. You go combined states versus AIC.
Yep.
Right? Winner of that then plays the GPS school. And obviously it's stacked in GPS favour at the moment. But imagine an AIC or a combined winning that. It just shows a bit more of a pathway.
Yeah.
And then you do the same in New South Wales. And then you cross over in a final, the top from each one.
yeah,
But at least that way, because that's how NZ sort of does it like that. They do Blues region, Chiefs region,
Right.
Hurricanes region, and then the whole of the South Island. And the top 4 come in, they play a semi and a final,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I'm just throwing speculating ideas.
I
We're
like
doing
it.
well here.
That's good. Let's get to that was a heavy news and notes there, but plenty to get through. Let's go to round 15 picks and preview. Just the 4 games, boys, to run through this week. It starts on Friday night. The Crusaders $1.13. The Highlanders $5.25. The Lions 14.5. The Staters have won their last 4 of 5 versus the Highlanders, including their last 8 of 9 at home. Are the Highlanders any chance to cause the upset here, boys?
I think they're a chance.
Chance.
I wouldn't take them, but I think there's another universe that it would happen in.
So last week we did the same thing. They had the Highlanders at this big number, 15.5. We all laid the points at the Canes, and they showed up. So
Yeah.
can they do it again? Keep it close.
I think it's not going to be about how dominant the Highlanders play. I think it's about how dominant the Crusaders have been. That's the flip side of it.
Yep.
I can't back it against the Crusaders here. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Crusaders win,
Yeah. What was the line?
14.5.
Oh.
A lot of points.
I'll go cover.
Crusaders.
Nah.
Oh, Lenders.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think it'll be a tight one.
TC, how's it going to play out?
I don't think it's going to be a tight one, but I agree with Geordie that it's going to be like 12, 13 points. I think it's going to be close to that line. But Crusaders want to win this. For them, I think it's a must-win. The reason I keep the Landers close is I think they're going to take a lot of confidence out of the Hurricanes game. They'll be absolutely defeated that they lost that. They let that one get away in that second half. And I think they'll be competitive for 60, 70 minutes. And the Crusaders will score a couple of late ones. And it'll be like 34-20 or something.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I just think the Crusaders are too good. I think Crusaders and Chiefs this week obviously both want to get back into that 1-2 spot and give themselves a bit of cushion going into the finals.
I like what you're saying, but I reckon also you can do the opposite. They're so dejected, there's like, fuck. And they're absolutely destroyed. And they don't turn up at all. So I'll go Crusaders to win, Crusaders cover for me. And they do a big job at home, which is probably their final home game of the year as well. All right, let's go to Brisbane now. The Reds $1.77. The Hurricanes $1.97. The Lions 1.5. The Canes have a great record against the Reds. Won the last 13 of 14, including the last 5 in Australia.
I don't know what's going on with the Reds at the moment. They were looking good at the start of the year.
Yeah.
I know they've actually come into the proper part of their draw where they're playing the top teams. They did have a bit of an easy run to start, but they just haven't performed. And I think the Hurricanes get this done. What's the line?
1.5.
Well, Hurricanes favourites?
No.
Well, yeah, Hurricanes. I'll get
Okay.
both then.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. For pretty much the same reason. I don't think I have it.
I reckon it's 1 to 12 either way.
Yep.
It's 1 to 12 either way, but I just think the Hurricanes get it there. And they need to win to secure a spot, whereas the Reds are got a bit more leeway playing the draw next week.
They do as well. I'll go Reds to win. Reds win, red cover. They need it desperately. So let's see if they can turn on at home. All right, boys, this is going to be an absolute crack as well. The Chiefs $1.18. Moana Pacifica $4.50. 13.5 is your number. Moana is the only team, only New Zealand team is the Chiefs they haven't beaten. The Chiefs won all 6 in their history.
I'm very surprised with those odds. I think that's a big.
not.
It's in Hamilton. I don't know. I think it's
in
kind
Hams.
I don't know though.
of okay.
What was it $4 plus for Moana?
Yeah,
to win?
$4.50. Bit of value there, mate, for the punters if you like it. You like Moana here, or you reckon Chiefs in a big?
Reason the Chiefs, I think, do really well against Moana is the way they play. They play an expansive style, but they can play physical where they need. Blues fell into the trap on the weekend of playing Moana's game and trying to outmuscle, and they sort of lost that battle. Whereas I think the Chiefs, like, while there's a lot of talent in that Moana side, I still think they're susceptible when teams go wide. And we saw it early on in the year where the Chiefs, where I think we're up 40, and Moana came back, and that might give them a little bit of belief. But I just think Chiefs and Hamilton, fresh, spent 2 weeks prepping Moana.
Yeah.
And I know that coaching staff's real detailed around set piece stuff. I think we can see a couple of good set piece tries coming through. So yeah, I back the Chiefs there. What's the line?
13.5. It's a lot of points again.
I go Chiefs, but Moana to cover.
Okay, keep it close. Geordie Lanack,
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I think.
want to hang around.
Yeah, I think they got some wind in their sails. Ardie's obviously pumping everybody up a bit. Yeah, I think it could be a really tight game. This is probably one that I'm not too sure on, but as Tyler just said, like Chiefs have had that time to prep. They're going to be at home. Moana, as excited as they are, and they're up for it.
Chiefs lost at home this year.
Don't think so.
I don't think they have.
So. It could also do the opposite for Moana, so it could knock them around a little bit. Like that's a big emotional win for them last week.
There you go.
They broke the bin.
Did they?
They've broken the bin.
That could be a
Yeah,
bad sign.
could be a bad sign. Unless they got a fresh bin coming in, but they broke the lid.
Oh no. Okay, watch that space. That's
Chiefs and Moana to cover. So.
okay. I'm gonna go Chiefs to win. Chiefs cover. I reckon they do. As you said, fresh at home. Moana emotional win. All these recipes sort of thinks Chiefs could thump them here.
Yeah.
I'll go Chiefs in a big time win. All right, let's go West now. The Western Force $1.62. The Tars $2.20.
I've got no fucking idea.
The Line's 2.5.
Yeah.
Like,
This is
I
almost.
don't know about these
This
teams
could be the
at the
Spoon
moment.
Bowl. You know, the Tars
100%.
can still get the spoon, I believe.
Oh, that's harsh.
Stats for you: the Force have won the last 3 of 4 versus the Waratahs at home. They have lost their last 4 in a row. The Tars have won 6 of 7 versus the Force, and the Waratahs' next win will be their 200th win in Super Rugby ever. There's just 6 teams to do it, and it's the second ever in Australia. Will it be this Saturday night, Tyler Campbell?
I definitely won't be watching this game, man.
Come on, man! Prime time, 2 killer teams.
7:35 said,
Oof.
I just got no interest in this game.
I think I'll be watching the new Lilo and Stitch instead of this game. To be honest.
Okay, guys, why don't you
Invites.
grow the game?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be in the GPS shed still, mate. After playing for the Gallops on the weekend.
No, wrong.
Grew up.
Fuck. I actually don't know. Like, I really don't know.
Hopefully Donaldson plays this week, you reckon?
I mean, even if he does, like,
They
You
got-
know what? Nah. I've got it. I'm going Tars.
Okay, here we go.
Reason for it being, they win, they give themselves a chance.
What? They're done.
No, they're not. They've got 2 games left. They're on 22.
Okay.
They win, they go to 27 if they get a bonus point, or 26. Blues aren't playing this week. Blues are on 28. Moana loses, they're still on 28. Then it makes the Blues-Waratahs matchup next week interesting, because Hurricanes play Moana.
In Auckland, though, isn't it?
Nope.
In
In
Sydney?
Wellies. Oh, the
Oh, so the
Auckland
Glen
game
one.
against,
Yeah.
yeah. But they give themselves a chance.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're going to do it.
No? Yep.
I thought they were out. I didn't realise they had 2 games left because I knew we were a short week. So I think the Tars win and they cover.
That's good spiel. I might jump on board that. I like
yeah,
that.
just because of the delivery of that, I'll jump on with you
That
as
was
well.
good.
All right, sorry.
That was quick.
You broke that
was
down.
serious maths.
Nice.
And like,
Yeah.
Waratahs out west. I actually don't mind it. Yeah. They, especially after last week. Sure, they show something this week. Show us something.
They're a better team.
Yeah.
I just think they get it done. I think it's relatively close. 1 to 12 either way. But I think Tars get it done, come away with their 4 points and give themselves a chance.
Here we go. Happy. Waratahs win, Waratahs cover. All of us.
yeah, let's do it.
On the Tars bandwagon. Here we go.
Yeah.
Jake Gordon, the boys, bounce back. All right, boys, let's get to our QPR wrap. Congratulations, Tyler Campbell and the Bond Bull Sharks. You had a big win, 52-20 over the bank. 1 try? 2 tries?
One try.
One try. It was a good one.
Yeah, just 5 metres out.
Mate,
The bus keeps rolling.
Mate, I've noticed this. You're really bumping some blokes this year. Have you noticed this? He's just bumping fellas.
Did I not do that last year?
Well, I'm noticing a lot more this year.
Yeah.
I think he's just becoming. I think he's what it
I
is.
thought you were going to say something.
No. I know what you think I was going to say. I'm not saying that. I think Tyler has just become less interested in trying to find alternate ways, and he's just related back to
Fuck it.
fucking, I'm just going straight. Can't be bothered doing anything special. I'm just going to try and run over top of people.
I've just decided if I'm picking a line, it's like, fuck it, I'm getting old. My body's already fucked.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm like, you know what, if I get fucking smoked, I get fucking smoked.
Well, tell me about the win.
No, it was good. Obviously started a bit slow. Bank came to play, and I think for the first 30 minutes we probably, didn't have our energy right, didn't get done what we needed to get done. I think we sort of got a try there against the grain a little bit. Like, it was a well-worked try, but it wasn't sort of with how the game was flowing. And then we sort of, just that 10 minutes before half-time, I don't know if a flick sort of switched, but we obviously ran in 2 quick ones. One came off a good piece of defensive work from Kobe. And then we score off that kickoff, and I think that sort of got us going, got us into gear. Another one before half, and then...
That one before half-time was very important.
Yeah.
I thought,
Obviously, points was on offer, but that sort of came down to it. Just backed our forwards. I think they'd been actually a little bit... confidence was down, so I just backed them and said, hey, boys, get around it. And, great finish from Ush and great work from Dane on that clean. So, it was good. And then second half, we just rolled on from there.
Could have scored some points too. I thought we haven't done it in a while.
It was good to play a game that wasn't neck and neck in the last 10 minutes. But got to give credit to the boys too. Their goal line stand at the end shows that there's a bit of character building in the team, and puts us in a position that we win this week, we actually move into the top 4.
Really? There you go.
So hopefully we can go up and do a drop up at Jeeps, but it's going to be no easy feat. They're a team that's tracking pretty well. They were really good against Norths. Probably didn't play to their potential last week against
Dreadful
West.
on the weekend.
Yeah, and we'll be a team looking, hungry this week and wanting to be a lot better. So should be a good hit out up at Yoku Road.
Yep, that's the one.
So I'm hoping their field's good because it looks like it's going to be sunny this week. Don't want to jinx it.
Mate, come on.
But fuck, I'm sick of seeing rain throughout the week.
We spoke this previously, but the story obviously was in the paper on the weekend. Skipper Tyler Campbell had a strong performance, scoring in the 21st minute. This is a quote from your coach, your leader. Tyler Campbell had a good game. He was under a bit of pressure after his performance last week, Heenan said.
Yeah, and no, look, I've got to give credit to Mick here. He does put a lot of pressure on me and expects a lot from me, especially as a leader, to get things right and be leading from the front. And I made a couple of errors in that Brothers game. Like, while I was good for 70 minutes, there was probably little minute things where I didn't do what I needed to do to sort of put the team in the right positions. And, I have to put my hand up and be accountable for those decisions and make sure, at least 99% of the time I'm doing the right thing. So he puts the pressure on me, but it's, what is it? Pressure builds diamonds. Well, diamonds or pancakes, whichever way you want to go. So got to take that sort of on board.
What?
Sorry, Rian Stowers will get this. Rian's going to jump in and quote it. It's a quote from his cousin. Pressure builds either diamonds or it makes someone flat like a pancake.
Okay.
So
Good.
Yeah.
That was a very serious answer. I was just being humorous, but I think you're going great, mate. But yeah, he roasted you. But you did well, mate. Bounce back.
It's all right. We're back. We're going another week.
There we go. East boys, 6 from 6. Their line defeated Brothers, their first loss of the season. Clinical here.
Did I call this? I think I said this.
I think you did say this.
I just think they're a team that's hungry at the moment.
Yeah.
Whereas when I saw the matchup, I was like, yeah, Brothers are good, but Brothers are off back-to-back premierships. Winning games in the season right now to them isn't the fucking end all.
Yeah.
They're looking for a three-peat. So whereas I think East is sort of looking to put their sort of mark on the comp and keep winning week by week and show everyone that they're a genuine contender, and I think they are. Their forward pack's humming. Yeah. Their backs are playing well. They're being well led by, 10? Lockie Kirk.
Yeah.
They sort of come through their cult system and really growing into that 10 jersey this year.
Jordan, UQ, your old mob, beat South. Big win.
Yeah. Did we say that last week as well? I think there was some chat around that happening. I think UQ, I had a quick chat to their coaches after we played up there. It was pretty much just about that loss against Norths. And even they were saying they weren't stressed at all by that. Like, there was a hiccup in the road and they know they're in good spot. They got a few boys coming back from injury. I think they're a team that's always going to be tough to beat. Like, traditionally, they're probably one of the stronger teams in the comp. even though they've had a couple like maybe off years here and there. But yeah, they've been pretty good. I wasn't surprised when I saw that result. I think they're always a team that you can count to stay in the battle. So
There we go. I'll mention this quickly. Glenn Vaihu for the Bulldogs. Man, he carved up. I don't know how much you saw this, but God, he played well.
He'll be
Yeah.
gone, I reckon, by the end of the year.
Yeah, what, Japan or something?
Yep.
Yeah, he's
I want to throw one out there about UQ.
hit me.
Picking up Zach Ho and what's the other
Yeah.
fella from West?
West.
Poaching mid-season.
Yeah.
Well done. Damon Virtue, Andrew Fraser,
What's
and Elton.
What's the goss there, you reckon?
I think those boys were sort of, coming off the bench in second grade and probably looking for more genuine game time. Someone like Zachy obviously moved from 7 to hooker. And I think if he wants to sort of, I think he's only 21, 22. So he's coming into that prime sort of hooker years. I think the more game time he gets, obviously at a higher level, the better he's going to be. Because if you move a 7 to hooker, obviously he's good on the ball and he's good around the park. So it's just getting more game time at scrums and lineouts for him.
I like it. All right, we'll almost wrap things up here. Round 8, boys. GPS up at Ashgrove for you guys. But give me your picks for these ones first. Norths and Wests.
Wests,
Yeah, I think West.
Bank, East.
East.
Yeah, East.
And this one should be a good one. Brothers, UQ.
Brothers. I just can't see Brothers losing back to back.
Yeah.
At home too.
Yeah.
Lovely. And you boys ready to go? Feeling good?
Feeling good.
Should be fun.
Hamstring cramps back.
Nice. This guy?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
6 weeks out with the cramps,
The
crazy.
amount of nicknames I've somehow picked up in the last 12 months is out of control.
It's the only one, mate. What are you talking about?
Yeah, not the other one.
Yeah, the other one's funny. Lovely. You guys it was always crackers up there when you got there. Last 3 games, always been
We have draw.
80 minute.
We had the minor premiership.
Yep.
That one.
I think you've drawn twice.
Nah, we lost. We
Yeah.
drew last year
Mm.
up there. The year before we won close in the minor premiership,
Yep.
and the year before that we had the controversial bounced off Floyd's
Oh.
chest and lost in the last 5-10 minutes.
Yep. Cool. Around the grounds, NFL schedule release. Thoughts on this? Any takeaways? Always a bit of a social media show.
Bengals got a good start. I'm riding with my Bengals.
Okay.
Joe Shiesty, MVP,
Right.
dating off supermodel now.
Is that confirmed?
He's my guy. Well, if they're turning up to events together,
Oh, yeah,
holding
okay.
hands. But
Yep.
I love that, man.
It's good. Do you get around watch the social media releases for each team?
I
so
don't
good,
go
like,
and watch everyone, but I do like seeing the odd video.
Did you see much of this?
Did you see the official season release for who was it? Can't remember who it was, which team it was, but
What they do?
it was like it was the coach of the team or the GM or whatever speaking to an intern. It was like, we need to make a really good video for our season release, blah blah blah. And the intern in reply was like, just get AI to do it.
Oh no,
Oh.
intern. It's
Oh.
fucking Josh Allen,
Oh,
mate.
dude, I don't
He's
know.
the quarterback in MVP
I don't
last year.
fucking know.
And then
Anyway,
they bring in
And they got-
Iverson.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
You like-
I thought it
enjoyed
was
that?
funny as yeah.
Yeah, nice. I thought,
Intern.
I didn't watch. I only saw the back end of the
You
video.
said it, eh?
Yeah,
I saw the back end of the video.
6'4" intern.
no, I'm just happy he's making an effort with US sports. He's
Dude,
making
I'm
an
actually
effort.
really trying hard. To
You're
fit
making
in
an
with you
effort, it's
guys, and
good.
You guys just shut me down.
You're welcome to my life every week. You do. Fucking hell. I quite enjoyed it. Dave Portnoy doing it for Patriots. I thought it was real funny. I enjoyed
I
that.
got to
one.
go through and watch them. They do.
Chargers are always the best.
They get media. They get sports. They know how to promote it. We've talked about it many times.
Yep. SBW and Gallon. Said it should have happened 10 years ago. Now they're very old, but they're going at it July 16th.
SB Dub.
Will we watch this at all? Any interest whatsoever?
Yeah, I'll watch it
Okay.
just for a bit of entertainment. I think it'll be rubbish.
Yeah. 2-minute rounds.
Shit. I think the best part's going to be the shit talk going into it.
Yeah.
Lovely. Origin early thoughts.
I think New South Wales has the better team. A few questionable decisions. Big one, I think, is going to be how Robert Toya goes for Queensland.
Nudgy boy, eh?
Yeah, young. I think he's only like 19, 20.
Right.
Big ass, though, going up against Latrell Mitchell. Origin Latrell, too.
Yeah. Different beast.
Different beast. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Make or break a kid.
Yep.
She could be one of those household names that we'll see for the next 10 years after the series.
There you go. Anything from you, mate?
Not about Origin. I think I'm going to wait to see. It's every year you see the teams release and everyone sort of jumps to conclusions. Then it gets to game one, and by that point, things have happened. Players have dropped in and out. There's injuries. There's changes, and
Yep.
I'm just going to wait and see. I'm excited for Origin. I love Origin.
Nice. Good wait and see.
Yeah.
Big show, boys. Plenty of content. Got through it. Thank you very much.
Before you go, if you got anything you want to go have a laugh at, go look at all the court case stuff going on at the moment with the Diddy case.
I was on Twitter.
The
it's going
freak
nuts.
offs.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny to
Right.
listen.
He's got some issues.
It's like just hearing the shit that goes on in them and like all the court documents being written up. It's just funny to read.
Outrageous.
Actually, did you hear? Sorry, before we finish, Newcastle Falcons, Premiership Rugby Club.
I was going to mention this.
Seen their new potential buyers?
Giving wings.
Red Bull. Imagine that.
I like this.
Yeah, massive.
I had this
Red
actually written
Bull
down.
before
But
every game.
Yeah.
Sign me.
Yeah, and I think as like, if that does come to fruition, perfect city.
it
for that
sounds
to
like,
happen in.
pretty close. That
Yeah.
thing's happening.
Yeah. Well,
They need to get a backup sponsor from Jaeger.
Wait, so we're going to say Newcastle's a good spot for that?
Yeah, Newcastle, great night out, great people, love a party.
Couple of vodka Red Bulls, eh?
Yeah.
There you go.
Saying Jaeger.
Yeah, they're broke as hell, so they need some cash.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for
Got
you.
anything?
Thanks. I just gave something.
Joe Opataya
Yeah, there's fighting next week, isn't he?
at the Bond game
Sorry?
Who's there on the
on
weekend?
Saturday.
Oh, right.
He's a fucking
I didn't see
probably
it.
because I knew who he was. I was sitting
Yeah,
there
you
looking
pointed
at
it
him.
out to me.
Yeah, I was terrified. Didn't even look at me when I was terrified doing my post-match speech. He was standing there in a big white tee and a hat on. I'm going,
What's the connection there?
his sister plays for Bond.
Really? Oh, we do have an Oppatai. Yep.
Yeah,
Last name? That
it's
rings
his
a bell.
sister.
There you go. Makes sense.
He's standing there and I'm going, oh.
Big boy.
He is a big boy, yeah.
He's
He's
fighting
only cruiserweight, so he won below heavyweight,
True.
but still would.
next week. He's fighting at the
Yeah.
convention centre. I'm
So
not
he's
sure
just
which
down there supporting Bond. So
There we go.
if anyone wants to scrap, we're putting him in.
backs. Well, it seems to be a common theme lately.
Ban the sternum law.
There we go. All right. Thanks, boys. We will see you next week. Do it all again. Bye.